Lecture topic: Acquiring the pleasure of Allah.
Discussed yesterday aspect about itminan, the inner peace. The inner peace will come from the obedience of Allah Ta'ala. The inner peace will be destroyed by things that will be against what Allah Ta'ala is pleased with. There's a principle in the Quran Sharif. The principle Allah Ta'ala has very clearly outlined to us. In tansurullaha yansurkum. That you help Allah Ta'ala, meaning the deen of Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala is not in need of any help, but this is the system Allah Ta'ala has placed in dunya. You help Allah Ta'ala's deen, Allah will help you. That's one aspect, but that's a principle as well. The principle is, first you do what you are supposed to do, then Allah Ta'ala will do the rest. Like the beggar, he must hold out the begging bowl. When he holds out the begging bowl, somebody will pass by and drop something in. But he keeps his hand behind his back and he's standing at the street corner somewhere, so nobody is going to stop to say anything. He has to do his part of it first. So Allah Ta'ala will then put in somebody's heart that somebody will now drop some coins in there. So likewise, we need to do our part first. The thing Shaytan puts us into some kind of misunderstanding or deception, that we're waiting first for things to happen how we want it, then we are ready to now start becoming obedient to Allah Ta'ala. In other words, na'uzubillah, as if Allah Ta'ala is in need of what we are supposed to do. Allah is in need of our ibadat, our obedience. So we're waiting first for Allah Ta'ala to do what we want, then we will do what Allah Ta'ala wants. So that is obviously a very big deception of Shaitan. We need to first do what is going to bring the happiness of Allah Ta'ala. The happiness of our heart is then Allah Ta'ala's job. Allah Ta'ala controls that. So that itminan that we are seeking, that peace, that inner ease and peace, that will not come from external things, that will come from Allah Ta'ala. That is purely by the will of Allah Ta'ala. So if we are waiting first for things to come right for us, then we will start doing something, then we are only going to deceive ourselves and get ourselves into deeper difficulties and hardships and unease. So the things that will bring the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala is His obedience. And then within that obedience, what will enhance it is the extent of the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala. Ala bi zikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. So what is required is excessive zikr. Zikran kathira. Excessive zikr in all its different facets. The primary thing is obedience of Allah Ta'ala. That's the essence of zikr. But then to the extent that the person will keep his heart, his mind, his thinking all aligned to the zikr, to that extent he will have that peace. Now many a person sometimes complains that I can't even fall asleep. So I'm so uneasy, I can't even fall asleep. So this can have many reasons. It can sometimes be purely a medical thing. Some people have some deficiency of certain things, whatever the issues might be, as a result of which that sleep also is not attained. But very often it is a lack of this zikr, in the sense that a person is engaging in the opposite of zikr, is engaging in very deep ghaflat. He's got his heart and mind engaged at that time in haram. His heart and mind is engaged in haram, he is far away from zikr. And Allah Ta'ala is saying, Ala bi zikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Now the sleep comes when there is a degree of relaxation. When a person has now, his mind has relaxed to a point and his heart is now in a state of relaxation, so now the body also gets into that relaxation mode and then he falls into a sleep. But if the mind and heart cannot go into that mode, then the body is not going to sleep either. Now he's put his heart and mind away from zikr, and that itminan that he is required to have, that is going to be gone because that zikr is far away. And Allah Ta'ala has promised that itminan and zikr. So now it is like a person, he wants to be comfortable, but he is poking himself with something. Or he is deliberately sitting on something that is now burning hot, there's fire. So now how he's going to fall asleep, how he's going to be comfortable. So now he's engaging his heart and mind in something that is far away from zikr. How is that sleep going to come? Because that mind can never get itminan then. That mind is going to be in the internal fire. The internal fire of sin. So that heart is in that internal fire of sin, neither is the body going to be able to relax. So now this is all very clear for us. If we think about what's in the Quran Sharif, what's in the Ahadith, then we will have no confusion. And we won't fall in the deception of Shaytan and nafs. So the zikr, that's the itminan, that's where the peace will come from. And the essence of the zikr is obedience of Allah Ta'ala. To the extent we get into ourselves into disobedience, we'll be shattering that peace, that ease. And to the extent that we get into this ghaflat, then even that mental relaxation, that physical relaxation, that sleep, all these things will start becoming a problem. All these things will be affected. So the simple and very clear path for us is come to Allah Ta'ala's obedience and be engrossed in Allah Ta'ala's zikr. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq.
अल्लाह अल्लाह कैसा प्यारा नाम है, आशिकों का मीना और जाम है।